Okay, let's make sure everything's working okay with the stream. Okay, let's make sure. All right, everything is working. What's going on, guys? This is gonna be my last video for my 3-day weekend, even though I have tomorrow off. This is probably gonna be it. Hold on. Sorry, guys, I had to sneeze. Really sorry about that. Okay, well, anyway, getting ready to start up a new rebuild in Madden 25. Welcome to the Los Angeles Chargers rebuild. Now, I know some of y'all may be kind of wondering, the Chargers really need a rebuild. And you know what? What's interesting is that whenever you start this franchise, it kind of tells you off like what the status of the team is, whether they're like a playoff hopeful, whether they're a contender, or rebuilding. And it actually said rebuilding next to the Chargers. And I think the biggest thing about this is that, you look at this team, this is the first year with Jim Harbaugh back in the league. Of course, in real life, the Chargers actually had a pretty good year in 2024. They made the postseason, lost to the Texans. So this to me is a team that just needs a little bit more help around Justin Herbert and maybe some really good defensive players, and this team will be a contender again. But we're in a pretty tough division. The Chiefs are, AFC West big dogs, and you talk about the Raiders being kind of the low light, but also the Broncos are kind of up and coming just a little bit. So if you ask me, this is a team that I think just needs a few more really big pieces, and we'll be able to turn this team into a champion. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm looking at to do with the Chargers. But with Jim Harbaugh back in the fold, and then again, he's a coach that was never able to get his San Francisco 49ers really over the hump. Became close, but they just couldn't win it against the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Next year, they lose the NFC Championship game. Next year, he has a falling out with management, of course, and that team didn't even make the postseason. So a lot of things going on with Jim Harbaugh's return to the NFL. But hey, the first year, lead the team to the playoffs. That's a successful season, if you ask me. So let's take a look at our roster going into the first year of this rebuild. Of course, we got Justin Herbert, who's actually just an 87 overall, so he's not an overpowered quarterback. But at 26 years old, I'm excited to do this rebuild with a franchise quarterback per se, but it's just about getting the pieces around him to make it better. Heineke and Easton Stick are the backups. Running back-wise, I think needs a little bit of improvement. J.K. Dobbins is okay, and Gus Edwards is not too shabby himself. But this team, I think, needs a really good running back potentially in the draft. Maybe I look at Genie or Judkins or maybe Hampton in the first draft to kind of help with that. We got a 70 fullback at Scott Maylock. The receiving core needs some work to really boost it up. McConkey, I actually don't really know too much about this guy, and he played at Georgia apparently. Oh, actually, he kind of looks familiar, but he is a rookie, and he's our top receiver, and he's 83 overall. So I'm hoping for improvement there, but we got to get some help around him because Joshua Palmer at a 78 and a 76 Quentin Johnson, who I think was pretty good coming out of TCU. I saw him play in the national championship in that year that TCU had that miracle run to the title game, even though they lost. So, there's some good young receivers here, but no really good receivers that I think can take this team over the top. Chart Jr. is 75 overall. We have Jalen Rager. So we got really just a bunch of guys and a rookie McConkey. So that's kind of what we're looking like. Will Dissly, who I actually traded for in my Colts franchise. 75 overall tight end. We got a 73 Hayden Hurst and Smart and Fisk. Left tackle 93. Rashawn Slater is pretty good. Left guard Zion Johnson 77. That's a pretty good start for a left guard. Boseman is a 72. Center, we got Trey Pipkins, a 71, and an 82 Joe Alt. So our tackles are the best positions at 93 and 82. So that's a good starting for the offensive line, but we need some help there. And left end needs some work. Morgan Fox at 73 and a 65 Otito Ogbanaya, who I actually am a little bit familiar with because even though he played at UCLA, he was actually getting recruited by my alma mater, Texas Tech, several years ago. So I'm kind of familiar with him a little bit, but still, we only have a 73 and a 65 defensive end. That's just not going to cut it. I'm going to look to the free agent market to get some more to fill out this roster a little bit because we only have two defensive tackles. Puna 40 to 80 overall is solid, and we got a 75 Tart. 85 Joey Bosa. That guy's the main guy on the defense. That's a pretty good start. Henley, 80 overall middle linebacker. Not too shabby, but not really anything spectacular. there could be some upgrades there. Khalil Mack, 91 overall, our second best defender behind both sides. No, he's 85, and Mack is a 91. But Mack has been in the league for 10 years, and I don't know how much longer he will play. So that remains to be seen, and I think he may be in the last couple of years of his contract anyway. He'll probably retire, but I don't think I'll be extending him, even though he's at 91. But something tells me if he's at 31, 33 years old, he's probably on the back end of his career and he'll regress. Bud Dupree, 73, not bad, but not that great. Cornerback-wise, we got some decent guys in Asante Samuel Jr. and still, but neither of these guys are really like superstars. Although, you're hoping that the NFL DNA for Asante Samuel Jr. kicks in because his father played in the league for so many years. It's crazy. You're old when players' kids have been in the league for like 3 years. That's pretty crazy. Fulton, and we got a 73 Cam Hart. Free safety, Gilman is a 79, and we got Derwin James Jr., the highest-rated defensive player on our roster. He's somebody to build this secondary around, 93 overall, strong safety. We got Cameron Dicker, the kicker, 79 and 79 J.K. Scott. So, this roster needs a little bit of improvement in places. So I'm actually going to go out and fill out the roster a little bit because we don't have a backup right tackle. So I'm going to go ahead and get one. I'm not going to sign Bakari like I did in the Seahawks rebuild. Let me go ahead and get let me get a right tackle. Actually, let me see. Who's on practice squad? Nobody, because the preseason hasn't begun yet. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Well, Riley Reef, actually Jason. I'm going to bring in Tyree Phillips as a backup right tackle, just to kind of fill out the roster a little bit. Bring him on, and we need a backup right end. Boogie Basham Jr., what a name. I'm going to sign you just for the name itself. This guy looks familiar. I'm pretty sure I signed him in some other rebuild that I did. Can't remember which one, but I'm sure I signed him somewhere. And we need a backup defensive tackle. Is there anybody that fits our scheme who's a free agent? We're just looking for somebody to fill out the roster. Really, no guys fit our scheme. Okay, that's very interesting. All right, so we'll pick one of the best guys. Let's just go with Henry Anderson. We're going to bring him on as our third-string defensive tackle just to give us a little bit of depth there. And I think that's really it. I don't think we need to really fill out the roster with any other players in terms of just depth. I think we're good, but let me go ahead and do a check for year one. We may be a wild card team in the first year, but I don't know 100%. We'll just kind of wait and see on that. So, yeah, Phillips, the backup, Fox. Boogie Basham actually becomes our starting right end based on his overall. So, kind of makes me feel good about that, which actually gives us a little bit of improvement right away because he's better than Otito. As far as defensive tackle, Anderson, 70 overall. He's definitely a backup. We're pretty good there at corner and safety. We got players to fill out the roster. Okay, so that's all we needed to do. I just wanted to get an extra right tackle, an extra defensive end, and defensive tackle. All right, so let's go ahead and get through the preseason. First game is against Seattle. Let's see how the preseason goes. Beat Seattle. Start off the preseason. All right, we beat the Rams, our in-state rivals. So that's pretty good. Taking on the Cowboys in the final preseason game. And we beat the Cowboys, so now we have to make some cuts. We actually got skill points to spend. Harbaugh doesn't have a whole lot on his tree, so I'm going to see if I can add some stuff. Yeah, hands-on defense. Let's do that. I know he's more of an offensive guy, but I still feel like that, defensive build-up is a big help. So, yeah. Well, we got to cut 10 players, so we got to trim this roster down. So let's do it. I'd like to keep 3 quarterbacks active this year. I always like to do that. 1, 2, 3. Let's put Vidal on practice squad. Receiver-wise, I think we have a lot of receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so Brendan Rice, we're going to move you to practice squad. Fahoko, we can't move you to practice without a cap penalty, so I don't want to do that. One of these guys is, I think, our long snapper. Josh Harris is. So I'm going to So I'm just going to move Fist to practice squad. Left tackle. We don't have really a whole lot of depth on the offensive line, so. Really on the defensive line. Got a lot of middle linebackers, though. We can spare some of these guys. Let's cut Shaq Quarterman. And can we not cut any of these guys? Well, we could, but it'd be a cap penalty. Right, well, I don't want to risk putting Junior on practice squad because he's an up-and-coming guy. Cut Dupree, that'll be a penalty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, all right. Let's put Leonard on practice squad. I'd like to keep 6 corners active if possible. Marcus May, we're going to go ahead and cut you. Okay, so now we got to kind of get a little bit picky here. So got to cut 4 guys. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to put Davis on practice squad. And I'm going to move Smart to the practice squad as well. I think let's go to middle linebackers again. That's where we have extra players. Cure penalty of 50K. We're going to have to just take that penalty, unfortunately. So, and I think with Troy Dye, we're going to have to do the same thing. Only cure penalty of 760K. But we have to do it. Get under the cap. Get under the player roster minimum. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready for week 1. We're playing the Raiders to start out the season. Let's go ahead and choose our draft class. Let's get our local file in here. Let's go ahead and get the 2025 draft. Let's take a look. Make sure everything's right. We got Shador, Bag Sawyer, yours. Wait. Poor local file. This is the one. This is the one that I need. I just need to delete that file. Yeah, this is the real roster. Yeah. So yeah, we got Milrow, and of course we got Lar, and the other characters that we're familiar with for all these years. So that's good. All right, we got that all settled. Let me go to the depth chart really quick. No, not the roster, the depth chart. Let me go to the depth chart really quick and make sure everything is in order for year number 1 in terms of who I want starting. Fox, Basham, Ford, Bosa. All right, so Mac is going to be playing outside linebacker. It was kind of more of a pass rusher anyway, more of the Micah Parsons sort of deal. So, yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season and see where we are in year 1 with the LA Chargers. Well, we've started out okay. 3-3 is not that great, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and check out who's ready to negotiate. Well, we have $96 million to work with, so that's good. And of course, Asante Samuel Jr., one of our big names, is up for a contract. Well, he's still got some growing up to do, so I'm gonna see about this 5-year deal and have him be here for the majority of the rebuild. Dobbins, honestly, I'm willing to let walk to get an improvement at running back potentially in the draft. Palmer, I think we can improve there. But, Poona Ford might be worth bringing back, but 81, I don't know. Mac, I think I'm going to give him this 3-year deal. Oh, you need him to convince me more? Okay, so he wants another big contract. Well, there's no guarantee that he's going to play for the next 2, the length of that contract, so. We'll see. We'll go with a player-friendly deal to keep him here, even if it means that we, kind of throw some money away in a little ways. We gave all that money to Samuel, so I think Fulton, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and let him walk. How many receivers do we have at the end of their deals? Chark and Rager. But Rager really doesn't even want to come back here. That's the thing. Eli Apple, yeah, one of the biggest busts of all time. I forgot he was on the team. I think all these other guys we can get rid of. Yeah, none of these guys are starters. So I think that, yeah, we're just going to. Or maybe J.K. Scott, the punter. But we'd have to offer a pretty big deal. Zion Johnson, left guard. I believe he's our starter. We'll definitely take the fifth-year option on him. So I'm going to come back to Khalil Mack. I'm not going to extend Ford. I'm not going to give a new offer to Dobbins. Because I think we can get better at running back in the draft, get somebody here for the long run that can be better and more of a scheme fit guy. This is what I'm hoping for. So, Khalil Mack is going to be part of this team one way or another. We still plan on signing him, but we're not going to we may have to franchise tag him, but that would be extra money, so I don't know. We lose to the Saints, so we're now under 500. We have trade offers right here. Oh, for Tarts. Well, let's review the offers and see what they are. Actually got quite a few of them. Okay. Another right end. John Johnson III. We can get Bradley Chubb. That would mean Khalil. There's actually some not too bad offers. Looks like Bigtari signed with the Bears. We could get the trade. Well, you know what? Chubb is about the same age as Mac, and I don't think that would be really worth it long because then maybe Mac no. We could get more picks with the Michael Carter contract trade. Let me see what our starting free safety is, because John Johnson III is not too bad, but I want to see what our starting strong safety looks like. Because I know our free safety, I should say, because our starting strong safety is Derwin James. We're fine there. Oh, yeah, we got Gilman. So, yeah, we're fine. I mean, Molden is injured, but, yeah, Gilman is better, so I don't really think that would be... You know what? Let's just decline these offers because none of them really look that great. So I'm going to just turn those down. All right. So let's get back to Khalil Mack. He wants another big payday, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to him just so we don't lose a 91 overall guy. Because even if he retires and he doesn't play the length of that contract, I'd rather get him inked as opposed to losing him. And I think I'm just going to let everybody else walk. Ford, I'm tempted to bring back, but he's not a scheme fit guy, number one. And number two, we might be able to get improvements at defensive tackle in free agency potentially. But I don't know about that. But if we can't, then we'll just try to bring back Ford when he hits the open market, even though that's a bit of a risk, because I did that with the Seahawks rebuild and I lost our starting middle linebacker. I wasn't able to get him back. But we're going to go with that. Playing the Browns this week, who were 3-5, not just like us. And we beat the Browns to get back on our winning ways. We've got another media question to answer. So now we're sitting here at 4-4. Either way, he needs to focus on the next game first and foremost. I mean, we're kind of a fringing, maybe potentially playoff team. It's kind of like people are looking at this team and thinking that, well, the quarterback alone should be enough to get the Chargers to the playoffs. It's like, well, no. This team still has some rebuilding to do around the edges. I mean, we got a couple of good defensive standouts. We got a good quarterback, but we don't have a whole lot around him. And, on the defensive side of the ball, outside of really Mack and Derwin James and Joey Bosa, to really make this into a championship contending roster. So that's kind of what we're looking like here. Playing the Titans this week. See if we can get another win. and we lose to the Titans. So now we're sitting here at 4-5. As far as the division, we're third behind the Broncos and the Chiefs. Yeah, we're not making the playoffs this year based on the records of the two other division opponents ahead of us. So, yeah, not looking good. This isn't looking like a playoff season. So, just kind of seeing how well we can do and if we can maybe finish around 500 or above. But personally, at this point, I like to finish a decent amount below so we can get a better pick, maybe get a franchise running back or receiver. So we got a new ability unlocked for Joe Alt, so that's good. Young tackle. Let's go with the unspun. Let's go with that one. So we got a new ability unlocked for Alt, our young right tackle. So that's nice. Playing the Ravens this week on Monday Night Football. They're 10-1, having a dominant season. And we lose to the Ravens. We lose by 11. Really probably wasn't even that close. At least the Raiders are 1-10. So we're not going to finish at the bottom of the division. But at this point, we're just kind of playing out the stretch here. We're not making the postseason, and that's that. But we get back on the winning ways against the Falcons, so that's good. If we can get a couple of wins at the end of the season, so Harbaugh, feels like that he's doing at least some things right, I think that'll be the best that we could do and we could hope for. And we upset the Chiefs by 3. Wow, what a win in that game. That's probably our biggest win of the season. That's one I was not expecting at all. I got to take a look at the box score for that one. I got to take a look at the box score of that game and see how that happened. Let's go to the Chiefs game. So we win at 31-28. Player stats. Looks like Herbert had a pretty good game, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Didn't really run the ball that well. Disley was our leading receiver with 73 yards. He had a touchdown, and so did Johnson. Yeah. So started off, a back and forth affair, and we win it by scoring 10 points, and they only scored 7. So that's an upset win for us for sure. Probably our biggest win of the year. So at least it gives the team some confidence that, maybe we're doing some things right. I want to check the injury report and see if we've got any injuries for the last back half of the season. Disley is out from one with a dislocated wrist, so he leads us in receiving and immediately gets hurt. That's interesting. All right. Well, we're playing the Bucs this week. They're 5-8. We're 6-7, so we're kind of around the same record as them. Maybe we can get another win. No, we can't, so we lose. So now we can win out and be above 500, but at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. The Broncos are 9-5, and we lose to them, so now we're guaranteed to have a losing record this year. So we got work to do. But, it is what it is. I thought maybe this could be a playoff season in the first year based on Justin Herbert's play, but no. But we beat the Patriots to get back on the winning ways, and we have one more game against the Raiders, who are not good at all. So let's go ahead and take a look. I want to take a look at the division standings. So the Chiefs have clinched the division. The Broncos are still not in the playoff clincher yet. Looks like that the Broncos are in the playoff picture, though. So, we'll kind of see how things go. If Bo Nix is really the real deal, then that means we got not one but 2 teams to worry about in our division for the next several seasons. So that'll be interesting to look at. Let me check the injury report. Haskins is out for 1 week with a hip pointer, so our backup running back is going to miss this final game. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and play this final regular season game against the Raiders. We're going on the road to Vegas. We're getting ready to take on the Raiders to end the season. Let me actually, let's see. Let me change uniform a little bit. Turn away. Let's see. Like the alternate pants, the yellow pants. Where's the do we have like blue pants? No, I guess we don't. Okay, so we got yellow pants. So let's just go with the all white. Let's go with the current away. All right. So let's play this final regular season game against the Raiders. End the season on a high note at 8-9 if we can.
It's the National Football League on
I'm excited to get my hands on playing with Justin Herbert, see how he really does in this game, because he's our franchise quarterback. You know, this is a franchise. This is a rebuild that I'm doing where the quarterback doesn't need to be changed, at least not right now, at least not yet, because I'm hoping that we get a few really good solid years of Herbert where we don't have to worry about drafting a quarterback for the future. So that's what I'm hoping for. And the scoreboard is still glitching out, but it is what it is. If y'all have watched the last few videos, the home side of the scoreboard at the bottom doesn't show the home team's logo. It says, you know, who the home team is, but it doesn't have their logo. So I think that's a glitch. Maybe something that maybe the servers are struggling with at EA Sports or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there'll be an update that catches that. But who knows? We're going to give it to Dobbins. He's going to pick up a first down for us. Oh. Here's the rookie McConkey makes the catch. Touchdown, Chargers. Throw by Herbert. So, not really dominating the Raiders in this game yet, but we're going to change that on this possession. And oh my gosh, that was an awful throw. That was a terrible throw. I should not have thrown that ball. I didn't even look at that guy. I just threw it right to him. And unfortunately, it gives the Raiders a chance to get points at the end of the half. We were trying to go 2 minutes, now they can go 2 minutes.
As they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining here in half number 1. On first down, here's Minshew.
There.
He'll go right back to Myers. And he's
brought
down after a gain of 6 on first down.
I mean, this defense still needs some help on the up front portion, you know.
From the gun, here's Minshew.
Oh, man, and we let Gardner Minshew walk into the end zone. Well, we gave the ball to the Raiders, and they missed the extra point, though, so we're still up. It's the third quarter now. They missed the extra point, so they didn't tie it by halftime. But still, doesn't change the fact that we need to get this ball back. We got to do something. Oh, good defense right there. Knocked it away. Good job. 3rd and 4 here.
Here's a 3rd down and 4.
It's maybe a risk changing it to a run play here, but I'm going to do it. And of course, we only get like 1 yard. 4th and 3. Coach Harbaugh wants us to go for it. Let's do it.
Field goal unit on the sideline. They'll line up to go for it on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Herbert.
Good catch, Palmer. Let's go. First down. Nice play. Nice play.
It's a gain of 12 facing 4th down. Here's Dobbins.
You go, first down.
Following his blockers, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down.
And he just continues to chew off more and more yardage with every single carry. And
2nd and 3.
The numbers, Mike, for as strong as he was in the first half.
Come on, Dobbins. Power forward touchdown, Dobbins. Let's go. Now we can try to establish some distance between us and the Raiders. All right. Well, they're coming back. It's the 4th quarter. Not quite over yet. They're only down 8 points. It's still a one-possession game. Around the line of scrimmage, and we make the play. Good job. Had a feeling they were going to run, but didn't know if my guys were going to get there. So, but worked out in the end. Let's go actually cover 1 high here. Let's alternate to that play. There we go. Make the play. There we go. Let's go. Perfect job, defense. That's number 0 again making plays. All right, 4th and 2. Of course, they're going to go for this.
But I think I'm keeping my offense on the field. I'm going to one of my critical plays on my call sheet. Keep this drive.
And he's short. We stop him off 4th down. Let's go, D. Good play. Way to go. All right. So now we can really just kind of wind this clock out.
They'll start this one with a 3 tight end look.
Ooh, no blocking up front.
Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it.
All right, well, I'm going to call a pass play here, just so we can get some more yardage.
He's able to shed his blocker, make the play, no gain.
Oh, that was a bad idea. Stops the clock, too. Well, look, it's still a one-possession game. I feel like we got to be a little bit aggressive here. Try to pick up this first down. Disley, come on. Disley makes the grab. First down to the tight end. Great throw by Herbert. And that puts this one on ice. Now they got to start using all their timeouts. That was a big first down conversion. That's the little things that are going to eventually stack up and hopefully turn the Chargers into winners. I mean, the Chargers haven't been to a Super Bowl since they were in San Diego in 1994. One of the elements I was thinking about before I started this video and this rebuild was moving the Chargers back to San Diego. I'm still debating on if I want to do that. You know, for me, I feel like that there's so much of the history of this team is in San Diego when it belongs in San Diego. Because, you know, they took all the history with them to Los Angeles. But, you know, Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Junior Seau, with Damian Tomlinson, Drew Brees, all played in San Diego. Okay, I mean, you know, and there's just that feeling that they belong in San Diego, not in LA. But I mean, I don't know. If you guys want me to do that, let me know. I can't do it this offseason because if you want to relocate a team, you have to, like, submit that in the early stages, I think, of the season. Like, I think by week 1 of the regular season, you can submit relocating your team, but I think it has to be a certain rating in order to do that. If not, then you can't, like, relocate them. So I don't know what their rating is. I'm going to look and see if relocating is a possibility. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to look and see if that's even a possibility when I get done with this game, and just see, like, what the rules are for that. Because it's like, if your rating is at a low point, then you can relocate. But if not, then they won't let you relocate the team. Not saying I'm going to do that, but I'll think about it a little bit. I was thinking about it, but I'm not going to do that just yet. But if you guys want me to move the Chargers back to San Diego as a part of this rebuild, let me know, and I will try to make that happen. Then again, like I said, just for the whole idea that, you know, the real history of this team is still in San Diego. I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember in, what was it? After the 2016 season. That was the Chargers' last year in San Diego. And the thing is, like, nobody in the stands, I think, in Qualcomm Stadium knew that was the Chargers' last game in San Diego. I don't think anybody knew that was coming. And then the Spanos family just said that we're moving the team. And I remember, like, Charger fans were outside of their headquarters, like, burning jerseys and picketing, and it was almost like when the Browns said they were leaving, where fans were just absolutely wanting to get the owner's head on a silver platter. And look, the Spanos family, I'm really surprised that they kind of did it. I mean, I know that Los Angeles is more of a profitable place, and, you know, there's probably plenty of Charger fans that when they were in San Diego lived in Los Angeles and they were fans of them and everything. But, you know, now all those fans got to go all that mileage to LA to see their team, who I guess kind of still is their team. But I don't know. But yeah, I remember watching, like, NFL Network and all those news reports, and I was like, holy cow. Those fans, like, absolutely want to get Dean Spanos. They want to get the Spanos family. They want to hang him in effigy. All right. Well, back to our real life. So we finished third in our division. The Broncos did end up clinching a playoff spot, of course. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket and wild card, and let's see what the playoffs look like for year one of the Chargers rebuild. We got the Bills taking on the Broncos. We got the Chiefs taking on the Bengals. The Colts are taking on the Texans, and the Ravens have the number 1 seed in the bye week. The Eagles have the number one seed in the bye week. We got the Lions against the Cardinals, the Panthers against the Commanders, and the 49ers against the Cowboys. Once again, Dak and company trying to get their revenge over there in San Francisco. So let's go ahead and advance to the divisional round. We'll simulate through the whole playoffs and see who gets to the Super Bowl in year one. Let's advance to Pro Bowl week. Let's see who made it all the way to the Super Bowl. And it's going to be between the 49ers and the Bills. So the Bills beat the Broncos and really beat them pretty well. And then the Chiefs beat the Bengals. So Patrick Mahomes once again beats Joe Burrow. The Colts beat the Texans. A little bit surprised there. But the Colts had the higher seed. So maybe it's not too much of an upset. And then the Colts go on the road against the Ravens and beat the number one seed in the AFC. Wow, that is a huge upset. And the Bills get their revenge finally on the Chiefs, and they beat Patrick Mahomes. Bills beat the Colts in the AFC Championship, and on the NFC side, you had the Cardinals pulling off the upset against the Lions. You had the Panthers beating the Commanders and the 49ers beating the Cowboys. Once again, 49ers go on the road and beat Carolina. The Eagles take care of business against the Cardinals, and the 49ers get their revenge on the Eagles from a few years ago in the NFC title game, beating them by 2 points to get to the Super Bowl. So Jim Harbaugh's old team finally gets back to the Super Bowl. Then again, I shouldn't say finally, but the 49ers make the Super Bowl for the second consecutive year, going back to real life. So let's see what happens. First, let's check out the Pro Bowl roster and see if any of the Chargers made it. No sign of Justin Herbert. Let's see. Did any of our receivers make it? Nope. Joe Alt made the Pro Bowl. All right, tackle. All right, that's good. Khalil Mack made it. Okay, well, he's definitely earned that contract, even though it was probably overpaying. But you got to do what you got to do to keep guys sometimes. And Derwin James made it. And that is it. So Derwin James, Khalil Mack, and Joe Alt all made the Pro Bowl this year. Not bad. All right, let's advance to next week. We'll check out the yearly awards, see if any of the Chargers were in contention for anything. All right, yearly awards. Let's take a look. The MVP goes to Mahomes. Coach of the Year is Nick Sirianni. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lamar Jackson. Nobody from the Chargers in contention for that. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack actually finished third in the AFC for Defensive Player of the Year. So he had a good year. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Ladd McConkey. So we have an award winner in the first year. We have the Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. Good year for him. Hopefully this will be the first of many good years. But I think we need to get one more really good receiver to go on the opposite side of McConkey to really help Justin Herbert step his game up. And the Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Latu. Terheeb Still actually was in contention for that. He finished sixth in the voting. Best QB, no Justin Herbert. Best running back, J.K. Dobbins actually finished fifth. But I still think I'm going to move on from him. Best receiver, no sign of McConkey. Best offensive lineman, nobody. Best defensive lineman, nobody from the Chargers. Best linebacker, Khalil Mack finished second. Oh, and Joey Bosa finished seventh. Okay. Best DB, Derwin James finished eighth. Best kicker, nobody. Okay. So that is that for the award winners. So we did have the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Don't know if he won overall Offensive Rookie of the Year, but we will see. So let's see who wins through between the 49ers and the Bills. All right, so let's take a look. And the 49ers lose to the Bills. So in back-to-back years, the 49ers have lost the Super Bowl. The Bills won it 38-20. They won their first world championship. The MVP is Josh Allen. So the Bills finally get the monkey off their back and they're champions. And the Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to Ladd McConkey. He does win Offensive Rookie of the Year for us. So We got the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jared Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year, Middle Linebacker, Defensive Player of the Year, C.J. Mosley. And the Offensive Player of the Year was Lamar Jackson of the Ravens. Nick Sirianni was Coach of the Year. And the MVP, of course, was Mahomes. All right. So now we got to get to, let's take our retirements and see who retired. I don't know if we would have any retirements in the first year. I know Khalil Mack is still going to be playing. Henry Anderson did retire after 10 years, but we signed him as our third defensive tackle, so not surprised about that, but he does retire, does decide to call it a career. And other than that, we don't really have any other significant retirements. Lane Johnson and Harrison Smith are the big names in terms of other guys who retired. Jason Peters finished his career in Houston. He retires. So let's get to the re-sign player stage, and let's see if there's anybody at the last minute that I want to possibly think about bringing back. Palmer is up to an 80, but I don't. But McConkey is up and coming, so I'm kind of not, gonna bring him back. But Zion Johnson, we're gonna accept the 5th-year option on him for sure. We're bringing him back. Nobody else really looks like somebody that I'm tempted to. We could have gotten stuff for Tart if we just trade him because he's not worth bringing back in my opinion. But those offers just didn't really look like anything special. You got to have something very convincing, and they didn't. No team really had anything convincing for that, so that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the offseason. Let's take a look at our roster and see what we got to do. Well, we have to go get a backup quarterback. Herbert is an 88 now, so he's up a point from what he was to start the season. So there's no regression there, which is good because we don't want to see that. Gus Edwards right now is our starter, our best running back that we have since we're letting Dobbins walk. But like I said, I think the draft is where we're going to be looking at a running back. I think there's going to be some guys who are available, so I think we're going to probably go with that. We still have our fullback, surprisingly. We could use another receiver in free agency, but I'm also open to drafting a receiver as well to help out. Disley is still a pretty solid tight end. We got a 94 in Slater. Johnson is up to a 79. We need another center. We don't have any centers on the roster, and we need a backup right tackle. Defensive end needs improvement in both places. We have no defensive tackle, so we have to sign at least one. Middle linebacker could use an upgrade, although I'm okay with going with Henley at 80 overall once again, number 0. We got Bosa, and we got Khalil Mack. So our linebacking core actually is looking pretty solid. I think I'd be open to just drafting somebody there. Asante Samuel Jr. and Still are in the 80s, maintaining that. So that's pretty good. Free safety, we have Gilman. It's down to a 79, though. Okay, we have some extra kickers. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the free agent pool and see how much we have to spend. We got $58 million, so that's a pretty good amount. Dobbins is actually one of the top free agents, but like I said, I think it's just time to move on from him and get somebody younger there, and just get ready and just move on to somebody else at running back. But let me see who some of the other top guys are. Well, Amari Cooper, we don't really need a top end receiver. But we could use a decent receiver in general. Elijah Moore actually looks like a tempting guy to bring in just to give us another third option at receiver. Nobody's really offering anything else. Can we actually do a team-friendly deal for a couple of years? Just lower the numbers? Okay, nobody else is offering him yet. We need a center. Bozeman actually was. But Kelly's going to be asking for a lot. So you know what? I'm going to try to bring back Bozeman. See if we can get him back here. All right, we're his only offer, so I'm going to lower the deal then. Team-friendly deal for 1 year. All right, we need a backup right tackle. Alex Leatherwood, I think, would be an okay option for that. Team-friendly deal for 1 year. We just need him to be a backup. Actually, you know what? Let me withdraw that offer because this is the first wave. We need to be getting players that we really need. We need to upgrade at defensive end. Deo Odeabigo. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sir, but I'm making you an offer. The Panthers are the other team looking for him. I'm going to overspend a little bit, but I want to bring him here. Get that upgrade at defensive end. Right in. We need to upgrade here. Joshua Uchi, Klein, Farrell, Son Reddick. I think Reddick is worth bringing in. Would this neutral 2-year deal do it? Okay. All right. Team friendly. You know what? No. I'm actually going to go with a neutral deal because I want to keep him here for the next couple of years in case we can't land a defensive end who's really going to give us a big edge. What's our defensive tackle rated again? I want to see what our defensive tackle situation is looking like. I feel like we're okay. We're better there than an end, but I want to double check that, make sure I'm not neglecting anything. Okay, we got no defensive tackle, so yes, we absolutely need to get a defensive tackle. I think you know what, actually, we got to sign 2. We'll sign 1 in the initial stage because we only have 1 more offer that we could give out to somebody right now. And Puna Ford's the top guy, of course. Okay, well, you know what? Since Puna Ford is the top guy, let's bring him back. Neutral deal 1 year. See if we can get Puna Ford. Oof. But there's other teams that are vying for him harder. Let's go with a player-friendly deal. See if that gives us an edge. $13 million. That's not putting us over the edge. I just really want to make. We're going with a high option, but we're going with a very player-friendly option. The Rams and the Patriots are also really vying for him. I probably made a mistake by letting him go, but at least we got a chance to get him. All right, so the first wave of free agency looks like this for us. These are our targets. Some of these, a few of these guys are actually guys that were on the team last year. We're looking to bring them back. Ford, Elijah Moore, Deo, and Hassan Reddick, and Bradley Bozeman, our center from last year. So that's what we're looking like for here. So let's check out. Hopefully, the first wave we get these guys. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we get. Hopefully, we get Ford. All right. Let's see who we got. We did get Puna Ford to come back. Awesome. We got Deo. We got Reddick. Boseman. Did we not get the receiver? Oh, Elijah Moore. We're still negotiating. Oof. Other teams came in with better offers. All right, so for Elijah, we're going to go with the better option here. 4 years. Increase that offer a little bit. This is overpaying for a guy who's really going to be our third receiver, but scheme fit guy who wants to be here. I'm going to see if we can get Elijah. Okay. We need another defensive tackle just for depth. So is there anybody here who's a scheme fit guy? Nobody? Really? Okay, well, we're just going to kind of go with maybe some decent guys who are available. There's going to go low 70s. Leaky Fotu. That guy looks like he probably played for the Chargers at some point. So yeah, let's go with a team-friendly deal. We just want him for 1 year. We just need a backup defensive tackle. That's all we need. We're his only offer, so we'll probably be able to get him. We're down to $5.51 million, which isn't much. So let me take a look at the roster and see if there's any other positions that we could really use, like in terms of filling out the team. Because at this point, I think we just got to rely on the draft. I think, did I overpay in certain ways for some guys? Yeah, I did, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So Bozeman comes back as our starting center. Alt. Okay, so Deo becomes our starter at left end. He's an instant upgrade. So that's good. We took care of that. And Hassan Reddick comes in with a pretty good rating of 74. I mean, when I say good, I mean just good for the short term. Bridge players, that's what these guys are. So that's what we're looking like. And Puna Ford comes back as our defensive tackle. We're going to hopefully sign that other guy. Middle linebacker, we have 2 of them. We have 2 right outside linebackers. We have a lot of corners. That's good. We need a backup free safety and strong safety. I'm going to actually get rid of these kickers. I don't feel a need to keep extra kickers on the team. John Parker Romo. In relation to Tony Romo, sir? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get rid of these kickers. Oh, we don't have a punter. Okay, so we need to go get a punter. I forgot. We let Scott walk. So we got to go get a punter. All right, let's go get a punter then. We don't have a lot to spend on the punter. Matt Ariza is interested in coming here. Go the team-friendly deal. Can we make the offer? Yeah, we can. Just barely. Well, I say just barely. Well, we're his only offer, so he'll probably accept it. Okay, all right. What other positions did we need to? Well, the safeties at both positions. Yeah, but I think that's going to be it for free agency. Let me actually go to salaries and see if I can restructure any contracts yet. I don't know if I can, but let's see. Let's go to Derwin James. I can restructure his deal. We have 7.77 million. That's good. All right. Slater. Let's see if we can restructure his deal. We can't. All right. Well, McConkey is only a rookie, so I doubt we can restructure his contract. Can't restructure Herbert's deal. What about Mac? We just gave him a new deal, but we can maybe restructure it already. We can. Won't free up a lot, but it'll free up a little bit. At least maybe enough where we can actually do some more in free agency and not just call it. Asante Samuel Jr., we just gave him a big new contract. We can already restructure that. Free up $1.28 million. That's not that bad. How about Bosa? No, we can't restructure his deal. Restructure Ford's deal. And we can free up a little bit of space. That's good. Let's see about Still. Can we restructure his deal? Nope. All right, I think that's the best we can do for now. So with that, let's kind of spend the rest of free agency kind of filling out the roster with some backups. Okay, we need a backup free safety. We need to fill some positions backups. Henry Black. Let's get him as a backup free safety for 1 year. And a backup strong safety. There's some guys here that are pretty good, but we're not going for anything expensive. Let's get Deontay Thompson. 1 year deal, short term. Let's see. Yeah, we're the only offer for all these guys. They probably won't accept right away because, we are lowballing them for, 1 year deals, but we're just trying to kind of fill out our team here at this point. Okay, all right then. So let me take a look, actually. We need some backup offensive linemen, I feel like, too. We need to kind of get some backup offensive linemen to help out for depth. Backup left tackle, backup left guard, backup center. Oh, gosh. Backups. Okay, all right. Let me see if I can get backup left tackle and right tackle at least. Backup left tackle, backup right tackle. Tyron Smith is still out here. But he's out of our price range. Let's get Jermaine Ifedi. We got enough to make that offer. We need a backup right tackle as well. All right, Alex Leatherwood was somebody I was looking at. But I didn't want to start doing anything until I had the money to do so. Well, until we got past the first stage. Okay. So we may actually be able to offer enough to a... let's see, what other positions at offensive line do we need backups for? Or other positions in general? Let me take a look. Okay, we made offers to backup safeties at free and strong. So we took care of that. Left guard and center. Okay. That offer's there. Oh, we already made an offer to another defensive tackle, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so let's see about left guard and center for backups. Left guard and center. Okay. I don't know if we have enough to make offers, but let's try to do cheap deals for guys that. No, these guys probably have price range. Andrew Rubrick. I love the name. Just enough. Backup centers. This guy's a scheme fit. Matt Skura. Let's put him in as a backup center. All right, we have just enough to make those offers. So we've targeted a bunch of guys, but all these guys we've targeted are really for backup roles, except for Elijah Moore. We're in the final stages of negotiating with him. We still got the best deal, so I'm sure we'll get him. New punter, backup defensive tackle, backup free safety, backup strong safety, backup right tackle, backup left tackle, left guard, backup center. I'm just kind of stacking up like players at every position so we at least have a starter and a backup. So that way we're going into the draft and, we can kind of go whichever which way. We don't have to like center in on one particular position per se when we get to those. So yeah. And it looks like that we were able to sign everybody. We got Elijah Moore. It looks like we've got everybody signed. So that is great. All right. So that's free agency for us. We don't have enough to really do any more serious offers. So let me go ahead and take a look at our roster one more time. I did say we need a backup quarterback. Maybe we can go out and snag one. A very low-rated one would be our only option, though. All our backup offensive linemen are one-year deals. But we're going to draft some offensive linemen in this year's draft, for sure. So as far as the draft, we need to get some defensive tackles, defensive ends, because, yes, we got a 75 and a 74, and those are upgrades compared to what we had last season. But we need to get some guys that are better that maybe will develop and be better potentially than those guys. That's what we're looking like. Defensive tackle, we could use some depth at corner, depth at safety, backup quarterback, low backup quarterback in the draft. Running back, I think, will be the first-round pick, though. If we can get somebody like Judkins or maybe Hampton, that would be big for us. And if we can get another receiver, even though we were able to sign Elijah Moore, we still, I think, need another good, solid receiver to go alongside of McConkey, our reigning Rookie of the Year. So yeah. And we could use some backup tight end help because the best guy below him is a 65. So, yeah, we'll draft some linemen, and, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and advance through the rest of free agency and get to the draft. We'll sign a backup quarterback before the start of the preseason. But I'm also going to draft one. Okay. So let me go to Scout College Players, and let's see. Do we have mock draft number 5 out? Yes, we do. Okay, so this is based on, then again, this is usually based off of free agency. So They was projected to take defensive tackle Mason Graham. Yes, we could use a defensive tackle for sure. And Deion Walker is. Oh, whoops! I was looking at the Rams. Stupid me. They do have us projected to take Ashton Genie, slip into 15th. Well, if he does slip to that, I think, and if he's the best on the board, that might be the pick. It may be Genie, even though I drafted him in the Cowboys rebuild, and I know what he can do. So, yeah. But if Genie is there, we're going to draft him as our starting running back, and he'll be the man for us. So, that's probably going to be the move. So let's go to the draft. All right, here we go. 2025 draft. 2026 draft, excuse me. 2025 draft, actually. Okay. So let's see. Is Genie already gone? No, he's still there, but he's not the top guy on the board. But we need a starting running back. We're going with Genie. Boise State. Excellent pick. Even though he's not a scheme fit guy, they're still saying excellent pick. So we're going to rock with that. Sticking with the mock draft. All right. We need a backup quarterback, and Cam Ward has slipped. I don't know if I want to go with that just yet. We do need a backup. We could use some backup safety help, but we got Derwin James. This guy, Jabbar Muhammad, doesn't look too bad out of Oregon. We're going to go with him, actually, in the second round. He's a scheme fit guy, too. We could use some help at corner. So that's a good pick. All right, so we got some cornerback depth. That's something that I wanted to address in the draft. We're not going to get it all at once. All right. Ooh, Trey Zone III out of Texas A&M. We do need some backup offensive linemen. Logan Parr doesn't look too bad out of SMU, but we're going to go with Trey Zone III out of Texas A&M. We need some backup offensive linemen. It says it's an average pick. Okay. We're in here in the fourth round. Donovan McCulley. I talked about getting help at receiver, but there's this defensive end out of Michigan, Derek Moore. We need to get in the younger defensive end. I'm going to go with this over the receiver, Derek Moore. Says it's an average pick. Hopefully he turns into something good. He's from Michigan, so that's a good winning program. This guy, Donovan McCulley, is still here, so I'm going to pick him. Give some help in receiver. It's a bad pick. Well, at least we didn't pick him earlier in the draft. Okay. This guy, Gus Miller. I think I remember him from other rebuilds that I've done. Let's take him. He's a scheme fit guy. South Dakota State. Bad pick. We need some depth on the offensive and defensive line. Don't really need defensive linemen who are really standing out. The strong safety right here. Maxon Hook. What a name from Toledo. Bad pick, but, depth never hurts, even though we got Derwin James. All right. 7th round pick. I actually don't want to reach on a QB. Patrick Jenkins is pretty tempting. We do need some... Everybody else potentially undrafted. So you know what? Let's go with Patrick Jenkins. We need some defensive tackle depth. Let's go with him. Bad pick, but, picking needs there, so let's go with that. Okay. So let's check out the draft for the first year. We did get the running back. It was Ashton Genie, 78 overall to start out. We drafted Jabbar Muhammad, a cornerback, in the second round out of Oregon, 72 overall. We got a 69 Trey's on the third, a backup left tackle. Derek Moore coming in as a 70 overall already at defensive end. And I said that I wanted to get some defensive end depth in the draft, and we got that. I wanted to get some receiver help. We got it. And Donovan McCulley out of Indiana, 63 overall. Hopefully he can develop. Gus Miller, center, 65, and a 65 overall. Maxim Hook, strong safety from Toledo, 64 overall. Patrick Jenkins, defensive tackle from Tulane. So overall, not a draft that's really going to knock your socks off outside of Ash and Genie, but still, solid draft. If you ask me, I'm good with it. All right, so Genie actually is an 81 overall, so he's actually better than I thought. So he's automatically our top running back. He's not a scheme fit guy, but it makes me feel better about going with him. And of course, we got Gus Edwards as the backup for the second year in a row. Elijah Moore, Johnson, Davis. Donovan McCulley is the lowest rated receiver, but I'm not too upset about that because I'm just hoping that there's room for development. Let's see. In Indiana, he wears number 1 and number 0. I'm pretty sure there's somebody already wearing number 1. Yeah, Johnson's already wearing number 1, so I'm going to give McCauley maybe something with the number 1 in it, maybe like a number in the teens or something. Let me see if I can do that. I like to kind of give guys their college numbers if I can, or something close to that. Let's give him number 18. Yeah, let's give him number 18. All right, so Trey Zun the third, 69 overall. Then again, I wanted to get younger, so yeah. This guy's out of Texas A&M, and he wears number 60, and he's got his number. 69 is not a bad start out, even though Rashawn Slater I expect to be here for the whole rebuild, but still somebody as a solid backup for depth for the next hopefully several years. Gus Miller, I think that guy does wear number 50, but let me see. Gus Miller, South Dakota State. Yeah, I've drafted this guy before in another rebuild. Yeah, he wears number 50, so that's not bad though. Defensive end, Derek Moore is the interesting name there. Out of Michigan, he wears number 8. I'm going to see if maybe Elijah Moore could take a different number. All right, so he's wearing number 8 in Cleveland, and he wore 8 in college as well. Derek Moore can wear number 98. I mean, he's got his number in there. But 70 overall, right behind Deo. That gives us a pretty solid depth there. We got Reddick, of course. Patrick Jenkins. I'm pretty sure I've drafted him before at Tulane. He looks familiar. What number does he wear? Yeah, he wears like number 0. Well, that goes for our linebacker, so he's going to wear number 96. Bosa. Jabbar Muhammad out of Oregon. Number 7. Well, that's Hassan Reddick's number. So, he can wear 27 his first year. Rookie out of Oregon, scheme fit guy. He's the 5th corner right now. But starting at a 72 is not that bad for corner depth. And I don't see Taylor or Cam Hart being long-term guys, so I'm okay with having that in terms of depth. Maxim Hook. Is Maxine Hook. Sorry, kept butchering his name. Number 25 from Toledo. I just like that name. That's a catchy name. All right, can he wear 25? Is there a running back wearing 25? No? Okay, maybe he can wear number 25 then, his college number. You can give it to him. No? I guess not. This card changes. Who's wearing 25? Is it a linebacker? Oh, Junior Colston. Okay. All right, well, let's give him maybe a number in the 20s. I think 22 is available, so I'll give him that. 22. All right, got kicker. We got Arazia. We do need to sign 2 backup quarterbacks, though. But we may be able to sign some guys off the scrap heap so we can get the roster kind of filled up in terms of having a backup quarterback. Or 2, because I really want 2. Have 3 quarterbacks on the team. Of course, none of these guys are anything special. But whatever. Let's bring in Jacoby Brissett as a backup quarterback. And, Jimmy Garoppolo. Now let's bring him in. Why not? 1-year deals for these gentlemen. And that makes our quarterback room full with backups behind Herbert. I said I wanted to draft somebody, but ultimately I just didn't get around to it, which, is what it is. All right. Well, that's the way our roster is looking like for year 2 going into it. And that's going to do it for year 1 of the LA Chargers rebuild. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I will see y'all in the next video, which will probably be next week on Monday, because I got a normal weekend coming up next week. I am off tomorrow because I mentioned in the last couple of videos that I do have a 3-day weekend, but I'm not planning on streaming tomorrow because it's the day before work, and usually the day before work I typically don't like to stream. So until then, I will see you guys next week in the next part of the LA Chargers rebuild. Take care.